Good morning, everyone. Let's look at your markets for today. We had the RBI meeting minutes earlier this morning. I'm not going to address that. That's come and gone. Got building permits coming out on the greenback. I don't expect this to influence the markets at all. The reason I'm saying that is because the stimulus talks and negotiations, there's going to be a meeting today between Nancy Pelosi and the Republican negotiator to see if they can reach an agreement. If by the end of today there's no agreement in place, that's going to do a lot for the greenback or against the greenback. So any other date releases are quite irrelevant today. Everyone's going to wait for that news to break. So if you want to follow that, there should be a link. Let me put a link up. One of these could give you an indication. Drew Hamill is the one we want. So if you want to follow the news on that, first-hand news is Drew Hamill on Twitter. He will definitely give you, the earliest warning of what is to be expected. He is the Deputy Chief of Staff for the House Speaker, Nancy Pelosi. So follow him on Twitter if you want to know what's going to happen, Drew Hamill. And if you follow him, you should get that, keep a weary eye on Twitter today, because that's going to push the dollar in one direction or the other. Anyway, so other than that, there's nothing really worth mentioning. There's going to be speeches at the end of today, so definitely watch them. But I think that Twitter feed is going to be the driving force today. Let's look at sentiments. So on the technical summaries, we've got the S&P down 1.6%, with the Russell down almost 1%. The DAX is pretty neutral at 0.42% down, with the Euro stocks 0.33 down, and then the FTSE is down 0.59. It's all slightly bearish, I think, ever so slightly. We've got gold down 0.44, with silver down 0.68. And then on the Forex, they are pretty neutral as well. We should see, this would have been on the back of the RBA meeting minutes. We should have seen a little more, which obviously means it was bad for the Aussie. So I think downward pressure on the Aussie will continue, and then everything else seems to remain neutral. Obviously, pound is something we need to keep an eye on. In terms of Brexit, there's a lot happening this week, so keep an eye on Brexit news. Any breaking news on Brexit will definitely push the pound in one direction or another. Okay, so that being said, let's turn to the charts. This is oil. I want to look at oil last. I want to do a top-down analysis on oil, because I've never really done that in the past videos, so it might be interesting to see. Okay, so on gold, we had the bounce off that level yesterday that I said you should hedge it. I hope you did. It was a pretty decent move to the downside. I expect the retest to come through now, but I could be wrong. That's an engulfing candle on those two dojis, so I could be wrong. It could test the downside, which obviously will also be good. If it breaks that level, a big move is going to come. It doesn't matter which direction the break is, as long as you keep an eye on it, watch the break, and potentially wait a candle or two, because this could definitely happen again. But for now, it is respecting the trend line, and if it does test it, watch it with a weary eye. I do expect a bit of a false breakout. Initially, it might retest and then do a full breakout, but definitely watch it. Definitely watch that. So we'll see it retest this trend line if it continues in the current momentum, it should retest this support trend line and then push up to this key level again. We'll see if it holds, and if it doesn't, obviously there's going to be an opportunity there. But if it breaks, it'll bounce off this level, probably retest that, and then decide what it's going to do. So it could potentially go down even further or just be a false breakout. So definitely be careful when you trade that to the downside. Okay, so that's gold. Aussie CAD. I mean, it's still continuing. The CAD is just so strong, even with that convergence. It was very slight convergence, but it expected to reverse the trend, and that ended up not happening. It is continuing. My little watcher indicator is just saying sell, sell, sell. So I'm not going to sell it now. It's a bit late. I'm staying out of it. Aussie CHF. Remember, there was news putting further pressure. The RVA meeting minutes put further pressure on the Aussie. So this is sell, sell, sell. Aussie yen as well. I mean, Aussie across the board will be down. You could just take that as gospel. I mean, a move like this can't last forever, but I mean, we've exceeded so many levels already. It hasn't traded at this level since May, so we're definitely reaching a point where this big move with a gradient like that needs to come to an end. So to be able to determine where that end would be, we could potentially take this last move and place it there, make that our, and then follow that back as a resistance. It is actually a resistance, so that will be the target level. If it hits that, I expect this momentum to end. So that's going to be a target level for this push to stop. So we'll see if it does. It might continue. There would be no reason for the Aussie to strengthen at the moment, so it could actually push beyond that level. But more cases than not, a big push like that gets it to a level that is respected in the past, and then they deem that fair value, and then it will hover around that price sideways for a while. But it's a wait and watch. We'll see if it stops at that level or not. Euro Swissy, that's still continuing downward, ranging. This one is just all over the place. Euro pound at the moment is a very risky trade, as we know. I just want to show you, if we zoom out, let's remove everything and do a quick top down. Let's do a quick top down of this. Okay, daily. Oh, Fibonacci level still on the daily. Let's remove that as well. I still have the levels in there. I could probably just leave them. This needs to go. What I specifically want to draw in from the daily is this. The reason I want to draw it in is it looks like a breakout is coming. So if you look at this candle, today's candle that started about 7-8 hours ago, you could definitely see, almost 9 hours ago, you could definitely see it looks that it wants to break out of this, which could be a big indication of pound weakness being a driving force. We've also got the stochastic pushing up. We could also add the RSI. That's also pushing up. So it seems to be that this is a reversal. We'll keep an eye on that, but this breakout is something to definitely keep a wary eye on. So we'll turn to the H4 and compare. I want to remove. Yeah, I mean, this is fine. It's right where we expect to see it. Sideways ranging. Okay, and then nice little doji forming there. Then on the H1, you see it's a few candles outside already. Although, anyway, so it looks like a potential breakout there, but we had a potential breakout there as well, but this one closed outside. So I think honestly that we're going to see the pound grow weaker from here. I'm going to remove this. And even this, I don't really need the RSI at the moment. My watcher indicator is telling me this is going up, so I would like to keep an eye on it. Because even though that's potentially indicating it's moving up, this one is still being respected as well. So one, two, three. So we'll see what happens. Potential false breakouts there. Actually, let's just adjust this one to this level. That's better. And that needs to move over to there. Much better. Okay, so it looks to be bouncing off, but there's a potential breakout coming. So we'll keep an eye on it. To expect it to bounce and retest first. But if it does break through, we'll see some pretty big moves. Specifically, I'll want to see it reach this level. We'll make that our key target level. Slightly lower, actually. There. It's going to be our key target level if it breaks. So what you could potentially do is just put a buy stop in here somewhere, like there. If it breaks, it should keep pushing up. Anyway, Euro Yen, that's moving up. Obviously, you can see that. We'll make it easy on ourselves and do another little breakout box, which worked so well yesterday. Since it worked so well yesterday, we'll do it again today. If it breaks, follow the move. Euro dollar, I mean, that's pretty much the same thing. We'll do a breakout box there as well. Pound dollar, I mean, pound is so volatile, you can't make a prediction based on technicals. So honestly, I don't think we'll see this follow any kind of technical analysis. We should just keep an eye on Brexit for this. So definitely just keep an eye on Brexit. Then Kiwi dollar, I mean, what a push down. So it should bounce off this level. That's been a key level. It should bounce off here, but for me, yeah, I mean, if you look at this move, bigger move down, bounce up, further move down. That's the reason why I don't want to touch this at the moment, because while it's bouncing off this level, sure, that doesn't mean it can't keep going to this level. So if it reaches this level, then I'll say, okay, let's see if we can reverse swing trade this. And it doesn't have to be that thick. It also doesn't have to be a white. So we'll rather just keep an eye, and it should be there. Yeah. Trick is to capture as many closes and wick tops and bottoms as you can. Actually, on that note, it might have to be there. There's a doji there, some closes there, and there. Yeah, that's the best price for it. So that's going to be our target level. If it reaches that, then we'll go long. Dollar CAD, I mean, I don't know if it's following my pattern. It looks like it. I mean, it's still kind of creating a bit of a channel. So from there, it's still kind of creating a small channel towards that line. So I'm not confident that it's breaking out yet. So for now, we'll just wait and watch. But if it does break out of the channel, then I'll definitely say this is a bad signal. Okay, so here this is pretty easy as well on the dollar Swissy. Something like this. Nice little breakout box. Just follow the direction wherever it goes. We had a nice breakout there. Traded to that level, so then came back and then it broke out again. So I don't know. I think we'll see another big push on this Swissy. Whether it's going to be up, I don't know, but either way, if it breaks out, follow the momentum. This one's ranging with a slight upward curve, so if you had a little deviation channel in there, you could easily see this happening. Something like that. So it's going to bounce down and then go up again, unless it breaks through, but for now, it looks like a upward trend. I don't really trade the Mexican peso, but I thought I'd give it a try because of all the countries in the world, the peso has the highest interest rate at the moment that I'm aware of. And it might not be true. The krona might be higher, but they have a pretty decent interest rate, so they have a positive swap on the downside. So buy pesos, sell dollars, then it has a good rate. But at the moment, my indicator is saying this is going to go up, so I can't really carry trade this if it's going to go up. So I'll watch this for a while and see if I've got a down signal, so I can potentially put a carry trade into this. Then on the Dixie, we obviously predicted this down push yesterday. It ended slightly higher, but it might keep going. There's no indication yet. So it pushed down hard and then retraced a bit. So it could potentially push down further and reach our level. If it does, then obviously I was right and I'll be happy. But if it doesn't, we'll just keep an eye on it. Okay, and then finally, I wanted to look at Brent, because I haven't actually done a top-down analysis on Brent in years. I mean, I really don't look at it. I just go with what we know in the news and stuff. So first thing we see here is a pretty solid trend line there and there. It's not a trend line yet because it needs 3 touches, but I'm pretty certain that this would respect that on the downside. Let's ray that. And then on the top side, what do we see? I see this, which means we've got a triangle forming. Now, for me, I really like triangles because that means breakouts are coming. I think I like triangles more than rectangle breakouts, but that triangle, I think, is going to be so very important on oil, and it's going to give us a lot of volatility. Bearing in mind that oil only has 2 decimals after the price, so it's 2 decimals in its price. And the ATR is 143. I mean, that is a whole $1.43 ATR per point. That's insane movement. So it's really pips, not points. But similar to silver on commodities, it works well. If it's a 2 decimal commodity, it works slightly different. So if you would say enter a trade for 0.5 or 5.0 like I do, I go double that. But anyway, that's not the point. Let me just open the calculator quickly. There we go. So if I was to insert my position size here as 5 lots, just add the take profit. So we'll say our stop loss is below this. And our take profit should be somewhere there. The risk reward ratio better than 2 to 1. So I'm risking $2,000 just from this. And it's bearing in mind this is I can't do the math, so it's about $3.9 price difference. So that's about 2 candles of ATR, of average 100 ATR. That's my stop loss. 2 candles is my stop loss, with about almost 3 candles being my take profit. This breakout could do that gap in 1 candle, because that tends to happen in oil. Breakouts are pretty big on oil, so it's definitely worth the risk to just add, let's say, a small trade here, that has minimal risk with a potential big upswing. Now, it could be the other way around. It could go short. I would add my stop loss there. That's only if it breaks out here. So potentially we'll change it to a pending. Put it there. And then our target level will be maybe there. So that's a potential 2 to 1 or better risk reward. I'm risking, almost 2,000, but my potential reward is over 4,000. And we'll have the breakout as confirmation. So I'll be pretty happy with that if it happens. So anyway, based on volatility, we could definitely look to trade this, but I think we have a little breakout triangle forming, and it's a pretty easy trade. You don't have to overthink it. So I don't really trade oil, but I could definitely see myself trading this if it does break out. Anyway, just wanted to do a quick one there. Took me less than a minute to see what we saw there. So maybe just keep an eye on that. If it breaks to the upside, pretty big swing to there potentially, and if it breaks to the downside, potentially to there, at the least to there, but I think it'll go beyond. It should reach this level. Anyway, that is it for today's video. I hope it helps. If you do find this helpful or enjoy my videos, please hit the like button and subscribe if you haven't subscribed already. So that's it for the video. Thank you for your time. Good luck and enjoy.